day 57 of my big bike ride around Britain. And it's about time I talked about the bike and the kit that has got me through those 57 days. So bike first, it's a Vielo plus one, and it hasn't had any mechanicals. I haven't had to repair anything. I have had some additions made to it. So I put Redshift grip extenders on the handlebars. For the last time I went back home to Newcastle for a couple of days, I fitted them. It's had a new chain because 3,500 miles, my chain has stretched. So we put a new chain on. And one of the rear tires, the Continental Terra Hard Pack, 50 millimeters, one of them has been changed because I wore through one of the tires. Now, I haven't had any punctures on this trip. So I'm pretty much a big convert now for touring a tubeless. So if I have had any punctures, I certainly don't know anything about it. I haven't had any telltale bursts. I haven't had any liquid coming out, any of the things that tell you you're having a puncture. I just haven't had that. So these tires have been superb. And that's been brilliant because I'm able to do gravel like this through Woodbury Common near Exeter, and then immediately go onto asphalt and do 80 miles. And just haven't had any issues with the tires at all. 50 millimeters has been an absolutely perfect width. I can hit anything almost within reason. I can hit potholes and not worry about them. Whereas if I was on a road bike tires, very much half the width of that, then I'd be worrying when I go over cattle grids and when I hit stuff. With 50 millimeters, I can cope with everything. So let's go through the rest of the stuff. So Vielo Plus One is a gravel bike. This particular color, it's kind of pink, but the guys at Vielo in Gateshead tell me it's Himalayan rock salt. So starting at the top, I've already talked about the Redshift additions here. This thing that looks a bit odd, it's actually an Insta360 camera mount. So I can have a carbon rod here and I can put the Insta360 camera there. But it's also got a GoPro mount on there. But what I use that for is that's where the remote control for my DJI Mavic 2 Pro drone, that's where that goes. So I attach that each time and I've got to undo that and attach it. So it's quite time consuming taking drone photography. Next to that is the Garmin 1040, which is solar powered. So it does last yonks, basically. And that has got me everywhere. So I'm using Cycle.Travel to route me between my book loops. I've curated the book loops, but Cycle.Travel is the app that I use. And I then send that GPX file, that route, through to the Garmin, and that just gets me everywhere. I'm not using the speed function. I'm not bothered about how fast I'm going or being told about how many calories I'm burning or things like that. I just need to know where to go. And it's been absolutely superb for making sure I don't get lost. Here is one of the tailfin bags. Tailfin. And kind of black is the new black for tailfin. I quite like black, so I'm okay with the colors. They're all, of course, waterproof, and they've got waterproof zippers, which as long as you keep the proper flaps, the zips in the proper flaps, and they have been waterproof, nothing has come through. This thing here at the bottom is my tool bag, and I've not opened it. So I haven't had to do anything to the bike whatsoever. So I haven't had to repair anything. The only thing that's happened to the bike has been a pedal. My right-hand pedal here in Norfolk came undone on a long gravel section. I didn't notice because I was on this gravel, and it was quite deep gravel. And when I did notice it, I just about got it in time before I threaded it. Because, of course, if the pedal does undo completely, and if you carry on pedaling and you thread that crank, that crank is kaput, and I was able to tighten it up again, and on I went, and it hasn't given me any more issues. So that's the only mechanical of any sort that I've had in these 57 days. So the tailfin bags, this one contains things like my remote control unit. So that's a Fjorden remote control. So that's what trips the camera when I'm taking photographs. And of course, I've got my energy food. So I've got my Veloforte bar and my Veloforte gel, which will power me through the day. If I run out of coffee, if I haven't had my coffee in the morning or I haven't quite got it, then Caffeine Bullet. I love the ginger raw ones, which is like half a cup of coffee. It just gets you through to the next coffee stop. In the frame bag, I've got all the cylindrical things that I consider cylindrical. So that's the carbon rod for the Insta360. I've got my knife, not cylindrical, but they're kind of cylindrical. I have got my exposure. This is a Boost R, so that's on the back when I need a light on the back. So that's definitely cylindrical. This is the key that attaches to the handlebar ratchety thing, so I can get the remote control attached properly. That's actually proved to be really good. This is an Ultra-Sil Nano Day Pack from Seat to Summit. It's a rucksack, and it's tiny, but that's been great. So I take that down to hotel breakfast in the morning, fill it up with all of the goodies, and I've got food through the day then. Going to supermarkets, excellent, really, really quite good. And that is definitely cylindrical. And then this thing, God knows what it's called, Flex Tail. There you go. That blows up my camping mat, my Thermarest camping mat, so I don't have to breathe in, which is dead good. And it's also in there, but you can't see it because it's actually been used for the iPhone there, are the tripod. So I've got a tripod that also goes in there. So that's another tailfin bag that's full of stuff. And I think this is one of the smallest, or maybe the second smallest frame bag that tailfin make. Because I'm so small and because the bike is small, I haven't got a great deal of room in the triangle there. So the Fidlock bottles, which are magnetic, you know that system, dead good. So coming to the back of the bike here and the bags, these are again tailfin bags. So the pannier bags, they are attached to the wishbone, carbon composite wishbone stay rack there, which cantilevers off the seat post. This is an integrated, integral bag. And the bags have been, I've done some incredibly rough trails, very, very bumpy. Nothing has come undone. Nothing. Everything has been completely robust. Very, very impressed with the tailfin system. I mean, I've had this rear bag for a long time, and that is like the first product that Tailfin made with the wishbone carbon composite stay. And these other bags are new to me. They've been brilliant. On the exterior, and I know it looks a bit odd, I've got my overshoes because it has been a quite wet trip. Hi there. People are coming through. That's absolutely fine. So overshoes, it has been a wet trip. So if I need to keep protected, my shoes anyway, with my boa closures on them, my Shimano shoes, if I need to keep them white, kind of grey now, but anyway, then I put the overshoes on, keeps off the crud. On the back at all times, and I haven't ever put this in my bags, has been my Rab waterproof, because it has been a pretty rainy trip. Certainly in June in Scotland, it was raining almost constantly. And I always had to have my waterproof handy. And I just haven't put it back in bags because it's just nice to be able to always have it there. And it's zip tied to the back there. So I always know I can get that out, get it off pretty quickly. So going to the other side of the bike, the other side of these bags. Well, first of all, let's talk about the light. So The exposure strata has been there for me all the time. I've kept it on the handlebars constantly. So when I go through tunnels, when I ever need lights in the daylight, then it's just been there. Battery lasts for forever. And as I said before, there's the rear exposure lights as well. So in the bag, this bag here, I don't put my quilt, my Thermarest quilt in a bag. I just keep it loose so I can stuff it anyway in the bag, and it just protects the stuff that's in the bag. That's all my electronic cables, etc. That's mostly my food. So I've got an awful lot of more Veloforte food in there. That keeps me going. And then I've got my laptop in here. And then more batteries. So drone... in fact, that's not the batteries. That's the drone recharging things, unit. And then my 360-degree camera there as well, and a few other bits and bobs. And then the other side, which I'll get out in a second once I put this away. A lightweight down jacket. There is my drone. The Mavic 3 Pro with the zoom lenses. Spare batteries, they're pretty heavy. In fact, they're very heavy. And there's the remote control unit, which is also a screen. So that's the cover. Like there's a screen, and that goes on to the front of the handlebars. Nice jumper there for when it's cold. And then here's my camping kit. So outdoor research bivvy. That's been excellent, kept me warm, dry, protected from insects when I need to be protected from insects. If I absolutely need to have a tarp, and I think I've only used this twice so far, then I've got a rab tarp. And then from Thermarest, the people who made these things originally, there is my inflatable camping mat. So that all goes into that bag, and I'll stuff it back and get ready.